Hi guys, and welcome to Lounge Bar Crime tonight. As you know, as we all know, that are covering this case and invested in this case, today is 10 years since Dan Markel was fatally shot in the head outside his home. And I just wanted to come on and give my respects to Ruth and Phil and Shelley, and of course Dan Markel's boys. I also want to say that I totally admire Ruth and Phil and Shelley for the strength and determination in the death of Dan, and the way that they've stood fast and they've never given up. I can't say anything other than I admire that kind of strength under those circumstances. I cannot imagine how hard it's been for them. This case, I know we're all very invested in this case, and I'd like to know what it is for some of you that why yous are invested. I can tell you very easily why I'm invested in this case. I can't for one moment imagine, I know that, what Ruth has gone through as a mother. I'm going to speak about just Ruth for a minute, being a mother, because I feel as though my attachment to this case is the fact that I have a son that's similar age to Dan Markel, and previous to this case I was really invested in the Mike Williams case for the same reason that Mike Williams was, becoming, was mature, had a little family, which is exactly the same as the position that I'm in now. And I think it's for that reason that I have a son, and I could not imagine, because he, like I said, he's at that stage in life now as Mike Williams was and Dan Markel was. Now, when I was covering the Mike Williams case with Denise Williams, I did observations on her, and somebody said to me, "Have you seen the Dan Markel case?" And I hadn't. And then somebody said, "Oh, it's really, really complicated," which just got me curious, really. And the minute I saw that interview, we know the one. We're not going to talk about that tonight, but I knew straight away. I didn't actually think it was complicated. I actually thought it was very straightforward, right from the off, from me doing this case. There's only ever been one person, if you like, in my target, and straight away I just thought back to Cheryl Williams as well, and I know Ruth and Cheryl have been connected because of these tragedies with both their sons. I'm just going to check that name. I think that name is right. He's such James Geiger, sorry. He's such a dear man. He's so sweet, and it must have been traumatic for him to have gone through this. But just want you to listen. But the point with him is that his statement was absolutely crucial when he was saying that the car was like a Prius, and I'm just gonna play it for you anyway.
My wife and I were sitting in our living room, which looks out over Trescott Drive here, and we were working with an iPad on a couch, and we heard a noise, a loud bang. We weren't sure what it was, and I quickly got up to see what might have caused that noise. And there had been at the time some burglaries in the area, and I was concerned that perhaps that had been a burglary attempt. And so as I approached, we have a large window looking out on the street, and as I got to the window, I looked to the left and to the right because I wasn't sure where the noise came from. But on my right, as I looked out, I saw a car quickly back up out of the driveway and then head towards Benton Road very rapidly.
Let me interrupt you for just a moment. Judge, if there's no objection, I'd like to introduce States 2 and 3 at this time.
No objection, Your Honor.
States 2 and 3 are admitted at this time.
May I publish 2, please? Okay, so is this the view you had from your window looking out toward Mr. Markel's drive?
Yes, that's correct.
And you say you saw a vehicle backing up out of his driveway?
Yes.
What type of vehicle was it?
Well, I caught it out of the corner of my eye, so it was not, I didn't look at it real hard, but it looked like a Prius to me, looked like a silver or white colored Prius.
Anything about the way it backed out? Did it do that normally or something?
It just went very quickly, and that's what caught my attention.
What a lovely man. And his information that he caught was absolutely crucial in this case. And it was because of him that that ball started rolling in the right direction. So invaluable to this case. Now, the other person that I want to speak to you about is Tamara Demko, the friend of Dan's. But she was a friend of Dan's and Dan's ex-wife. I don't even want to say her name today. I say it wrong anyway, I believe. I don't pronounce it right. Good. Yeah, Tamara, she went to the police on the evening of the following day after the shooting, and of course Dan had passed away that morning, and she had quite a lot of information. There was something with Tamara that just did not sit well, and it's quite easy. I know we all say, no, I would do this and I would do that, but would we? I'd like to think that I would, but would we? I don't want to be, or act as though, oh yeah, I would do all these things, but would we really? It takes a lot that, because, not because there's anything wrong with you if you didn't want to, it's just because I think in circumstances like this, you would second guess yourself quite a lot. However, there was something with Tamara that was not sitting too well. In saying that, we wasn't in that house where Tamara was, and there was obviously something that turned Tamara a lot for her to think, no, I can't sit with this on my conscience. And I'd like to think that we're all like that.
When I walked into Wendy's yesterday, and I'm assessing the situation, and Janine was there, and they were they went into a private conversation, and I'm sitting down, and they're like, well, does Amy, we'd have to talk to Amy, and and I said, I talked to Amy, and I said, does she know? They said, yeah, she knows. I'm like, no, not what happened. Does she know? As if, does she know where the investigators are looking, was the implication. And I said, what do you mean? And the next question was, Wendy redirected, and she said, has she talked to her husband? And so she started down this path with Janine there of making me wonder, or wanting to make me wonder if Amy's husband was involved. I still didn't feel led that way, even with that discussion change. But that was the path. Wendy is good at keeping things close to the vest and redirecting
But we do know that, don't we? Redirecting. She's been doing a lot of that on the stand. And I'll be really honest with you, recently I was putting a video together and it really did wind me up quite a few things, and it's not for tonight for me to say really, but there's some things that I just think that are being missed and being slipped through, and it's for another night really, but just not really happy. Now, the next person that I want to speak to you about is Detective Craig Isom. Now, can I just say something? I thought he was absolutely fantastic. Now, I know that a couple of people have made fleeting comments. I'm not downplaying them, but I sometimes wonder whether people can actually put themselves in them shoes. They're very big shoes to fill, to actually have to do an interview like that. And I'll tell you what was really good about his interviewing technique. I've only because I'm very much into watching interrogations and how they handle things, and there's different ways of going about interviews and interrogations, and they all have different names, the way they go about it. But the one thing that I found with Detective Isom is, which unfortunately I can't say the same when she's been on the stand. I've not seen this happen as much as I'd like to on the stand, and he is very good at giving out the information very slowly and watching her reaction. But he doesn't give anything away, and he doesn't answer anything for her. He doesn't say, well, did you just think? He doesn't do any of that, and he waits. And when he told her about unfortunately Dan not making it, he didn't say it all in one bit. He did it in like stages and watched her reaction. Now, if you break that down, those stages, and break it down, which I did actually in that last video, I don't think I talked about it as much, but if you watch during those breaks, not at any time did she, you know, like if somebody's giving you bad news about somebody and you go, are they okay? But are they okay? He was waiting. I think he was waiting to see something like that. Don't forget, he's done these interviews quite a lot, and there was none of that. None of that. And I thought he was really good at that. He also didn't give anything away when he was saying, you know, you've got quite a lot of friends, and she was saying, how do you know? And he was saying, well, you had to. He didn't give anything away. He had like flippant answers, if you like, that meant nothing, just off the cuff answers, and I thought he was brilliant. Yeah, just watch a little bit of this of him on the stand, because the other thing that you've got to remember is, I mean, Tamara's not been on the stand yet, but she's on the witness list, I do know that. But Mr. Geiger, for instance, that's no walk in the park for him. Can you imagine how it feels? Not forgetting, it's being filmed all over the world. I'm in the UK, I'm watching it. It's being filmed all over the world. And he held it together, Mr. Geiger. And we know Tamara will. We've got every bit of faith in her. But Detective Isom, I think he's got really good qualities. Just watch how he handles this as well.
I want to bring your attention back to July 18, 2014. Shooting happens. You're brought onto the case, correct?
Yes.
You testified that the call went in around 11 o'clock to 911.
Yes.
Now, as the lead investigator on this case, correct me if I'm wrong, it would be your goal to keep it quiet, meaning that it's not going to go out to the media for two different reasons. Am I correct so far that you'd want to keep it quiet?
Would the actual homicide, keep the homicide quiet?
Correct.
It's impossible these days. I wouldn't even attempt to think that would happen.
There's a shooting on Trescott Drive. You want to make sure that loved ones don't find out through the media, right?
We'd want to get to them as soon as possible, yes.
It's also important for you, for your investigation, that it remains quiet.
Yes.
You testified how later that day you went to Mosaic, you found Wendy Adelson. You then brought her to the station and interviewed her, right?
Yes.
And you were the one that informed her that Dan Markel had been shot
Yes.
and that he may not make it.
Yes.
Prior to that, that information wasn't shared with any family members or any media outlets.
Correct.
And in fact, during that interview, she was communicating with other people. People were calling her, but nobody appeared to know anything about what had happened at the house.
Yes.
I'm correct on that, right?
Yes.
And it wasn't until late afternoon, early evening, that word finally got out about what happened on Trescott Drive. Am I correct in that?
I don't know when it got out. I was too busy to even know, but eventually it did, yes.
You know, as I've said, these witnesses, they go through a lot, don't they? They're only up there trying to do good. I mean, it's his job, we know that. But the witnesses go through the same thing. And he is a witness as well, you know, on this. But, you know, he's put through it. He's not a young man neither. I know that's got nothing to do with it. And we can't make that an excuse or anything like that. But I was absolutely impressed with how he did hold it together. As I said, like I was when he interviewed Wendy. I thought he did brilliantly. Right, so let's move on. We all know Jeffrey Lacasse. He's been through it. He's been through the mill and back, and he's still here. They're all still here 10 years on, and I think that says something about Dan Markel. I think it also says something about the injustice in this case that everybody's recognised. But yeah, I think I'm glad now that they're going to get Tamara Demko on the stand. Just maybe that Jeff Lacasse might feel like he's got a bit of an ally there, because he's been on his own with this. It's as though he's got the weight on his shoulders, and you know, he must have been looking over his back a little bit. You just couldn't not. That's a lot, you know, that's a lot to do for 10 years. And yeah, now we know that Tamara's going to be brought in. So let's just have a little look at what Jeffrey Lacasse was put through as well.
The questions I'm about to ask you are about the investigation into you, not that we believe you're a suspect, okay?
I understand.
You would agree with me at the beginning of the case in July 2014, there was a thought that you were a potential suspect.
That's what I've been told, yes.
You were contacted by the police.
I was.
You came in, you were interviewed.
Yes, I came straight from my trip into the TPD station.
3 separate times you were interviewed, right?
Yes.
Now, they didn't handcuff you at gunpoint and drag you into the station, right?
No, they asked me to come in, so I came in.
Voluntarily went in?
Yes.
You told them what you knew? You explained the information, right?
Yes.
Eventually, you helped them get bank records to show where you were. It was in Tennessee, right?
Yeah, I believe it was cell phone records and a receipt from a Kmart that had surveillance video of me, was my understanding of it.
So they get your bank records. They see a transaction at a Walmart, right?
Yeah, credit card records, yes, sir. Yes.
There's then a receipt.
Mm-hmm.
And then they go actually to the Walmart, get their surveillance footage that shows you there.
Yeah, it was a Kmart, but yes, sir.
And then you were cleared.
That's correct.
You would agree with...
You know, that's no fun for him. You know, that is no fun for him. Even there, it's as though he feels like he's got to be on the defence, which I understand that is going to feel like that because of the way the questioning's going. And I just really wanted to highlight them for people that I think have been invaluable. A lot of the witnesses have been invaluable, not forgetting, obviously, people like, you know, the forensic accountant, the other Sanford is called, the other detective, sorry, I can't think of his name straight off the top of my head. I think I've just said it right, but I mean, we can go on and on and on, but those four kind of stand out for me as, you know, the neighbour. We wouldn't have had a clue about that car. Jeffrey Lacasse, because he's filled in a lot of the blanks. Tamara, which we weren't all aware that had happened with Tamara for a long time, really. But she's also filled in the blanks. And Detective Isom, I really admire the way he did that interview. I really, really do. I wish a lot more was done like that. Instead of like jumping in, because a lot of times you see on interviews and interrogations, they'll ask him something and instead of just waiting, or when they do answer, the interviewer will say, why? Because you thought this. And I've seen it in court. I've seen it in court with Wendy. It's happened, and they shouldn't be doing that. They should leave that person to drop themselves in it. Totally. Say all the wrong things. Don't even give a snippet of what could be. Anyway, I'm digressing. So, that is all I wanted to do tonight. I just wanted to pay my respects to Ruth and Phil and Shelley and Dan Markel's children. We won't go down that lane. And like I say, like a special thank you, if you like. Oh, thank you. I don't know. A special. I don't know. And just to highlight some people that have been really, really crucial in this case, and to say, you know, like they're still here, and they're still, you know, they're still willing to fight. And I think that says quite a lot about Dan Markel and his family, that these people are all here. And I think it's absolutely amazing, the coverage that it's got, this case on YouTube. I have noticed that there's quite a lot of new people covering this case, especially in the last 6 months. Remember when I went off for 5 minutes? It's like everybody jumped on, which is good, because the more the merrier. The more people that jump on this case, the more somebody's going to highlight other things, and not only that, we just keep it up there, and it's not like it could be forgotten, but we're just making sure that that momentum keeps just going really, really strong on this case until we get where we want to be, and we all know where that is, don't we? Anyway, so if you can just tell me down in the comments what it is, why you're invested, why you can't stop following this case. Not that we want you to, we don't want you to, but what brought you to this case in the first place, and what was it that made you stay and follow it? Because the people that are following it, the viewers that are following it with a passion. They're not just, they're dissecting this case, pulling it to pieces, going back through it, just like we do as YouTubers, and we learn a lot from you, and it's great. It is great. I mean, it was through a viewer that I actually started covering the case. So, but it's great and it's what we want. So yeah, just tell me what it was, how you found out about it as well. And if you don't mind, if you just smash the like button, help my channel out, hit the subscribe button, and yeah, we've just got all our fingers crossed, haven't we? So it's not long now. It's only a matter of days before we're going to see somebody in court, and then I don't know, I'm just hoping somebody else is dragged in as well, but anyway, we'll see. So anyway, I'm going to say good night, stay safe, take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye.